Right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the United Way. Today, we're going to be talking about some of the latest Manchester United news. Dybala, Ronaldo once again, and all that kind of stuff. But joining me today once again is Rahul. Rahul, how are you?
I'm fine, man. What's up?
I'm good. Yeah. Just breaking news. Actually, finally, literally, soon as we went live, Dybala is officially a Manchester United player. Right. That's the breaking news. I mean, Rahul, I suppose we haven't talked about it much, but what's your thoughts on the finally the signing of Malacia?
Um, it's not really. I wasn't expecting it to happen today. I thought maybe they'd probably announce it like 1 or 2 days before the short launch. But anyways, we all knew that. We all knew like probably 2 weeks ago that he was going to be a United player.
Yeah,
So I'm just glad it's done. It's over the line, and we can focus and move on to the next deals.
that's it. I mean, do you reckon could be a backup or a certain starter?
I think he won't start immediately. Depends on Luke Shaw, but I just don't think he'd start immediately. But I think eventually, like maybe during the season, he might come in and take over that first team position spot.
Yeah, I mean, we have him until June 2026 with the option to extend for a further year. So that's 5 years. We have Malacia for. I mean, Rahul, did you expect him to go to Leon?
I mean, this deal came, just out of the blue. We weren't in for Malaysia. There was no rumors. We weren't even looking at the deal. But once United comes into the picture, you always expect that we'd land the player because of our, position and how strong we are. So I mean, I do feel a little sad for Leon, but that's just how it is.
That's it. I mean, it's a deal that I didn't expect to be hijacked, to be fair, though. Because I
Yeah.
thought Leon had him in the bag. I mean, Fabrizio Romano came out and said it's only the deal between Feyenoord and Leon are close for Malacia, and now he is a Manchester United player. I mean, you can see it there. He's joined Man United on a contract until June 2026 with the option to extend for a further year. So, I mean, it's a good sign. Ten Hag got how many, one of maybe 4 or 5 targets now. That's one sign in the bag. Christian Eriksen, just wait for that to be official, and that's 2 signings. I mean, De Jong, that'd be more of a relief than joy if you do get De Jong, because
Yeah.
it's a transfer that'll never end. I mean, but listen, we got Malacia, probably the quickest signing Man United have ever gotten. But I mean, yeah, whoever's watching it is on the comments your thoughts on Tor Malacia being officially a Manchester United player. Rahul's happy with it. I'm happy with it. Let's hope. I mean, Rahul, I suppose all we can do is wish him the best of luck. That's all we
Yeah,
can do.
I mean, hopefully he doesn't, get dragged down to the past, standards of United, and hopefully he can actually lift our spirits and, guide the team in the right direction.
That's it. That's it. And then I suppose we'll start off talking about Ronaldo once again. Um, Cristiano Ronaldo was not expected. I mean, training for the second consecutive day. It is currently unclear when he will return. That's come from David Ornstein. I mean, Rahul, we talked about it yesterday. You said that you can see him staying another year, but a second day missing training is it starting to maybe get people thinking that that's it. You won't be a player or you won't return.
I mean, for me, the more this drags on, the more I believe he won't stay at United because I just don't believe he's that kind of a player, who's going to miss training sessions.
Yeah,
Unless there's, a really serious family issue, which we don't really know about. Um, I just don't think he's that kind of a player to do, these kind of things. He doesn't create that much drama. I think if it's carrying on in this way, I know I actually have to believe that he's probably gonna go, but I just still hope that the issue gets resolved. Because our preseason tour is starting soon, and there's rumors that he isn't going to be on the tour as well. For me, if he isn't going to be on the tour, then I'd have to lean towards him not staying at Manchester United.
Yeah, I mean, again, as I said, it's a shame that he probably won't play for Manchester United anymore. I mean, it is. There's no point in we can't lie. I mean, I don't know. I mean, supposing he was meant to have a meeting with Eric Ten Hag yesterday, and he didn't turn up to training. So I don't know. Could that be Ronaldo? Maybe just he doesn't want anyone to kind of convince someone staying at the club. He doesn't want to be convinced. He just wants to stick to his own decision. I mean, he was in Portugal yesterday, so I don't know, Rahul. I mean, I agree with you. The more I read about this news and the more it drags on, I can see him just leave the club now in the summer. Where will he go to? Probably Bayern, maybe. The Manchester United said that they don't want to, they don't mind them leaving the club, but they don't want them be still staying in England. They want them to go outside of England. I mean, we said it yesterday as well. We prefer them to move outside England, not stay in England. And again, Rahul, you said it as well. He has the respect for United, and you don't think he'd do that. But I mean, he mustn't have that much respect for us anymore if he's not turning up to training, though.
I mean, yeah, as I said, I don't think he's that kind of a player who's gonna, intentionally skip training. I think if his heart isn't set on the project, then he probably, he's gonna commit either one or the two or the other way. So at this moment, it just doesn't look like Ronaldo is gonna stay at United. But if you actually look at the previous season with Juventus, he intentionally subbed himself or didn't play. I think the final game of the season.
Yeah.
So he's one of those players who goes all in or just doesn't go in at all. So I hope that this is resolved in the next one or two weeks. Like if he isn't on that tour for United's preseason tour, then I just don't think he's gonna stay at United.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you said, I mean, the preseason tour, you want big legends at that, big superstars. And Cristiano Ronaldo is just a name that's a superstar. So, like, if he doesn't go to preseason, Eric Ten Hag, in my opinion, he's that kind of manager where if you don't turn up to training, you can go, because
Yeah.
you want every player at every training session, you want them to start the season on the same pace as everyone. And but it looks like Ronaldo is just trying to deny Manchester United. But like, I don't know. I mean, can you see him being a United player next season?
I mean, the truth of the matter will, it'll come out in probably 1 or 2 weeks. I don't think this is a story that's going to drag on for too long. As
Yeah,
I said, that tour is very important, and players, professional footballer knows how important it is to be on the preseason tour. To get the whole system, to understand the way the manager wants him to play, and to be prepared for the next season. And for a player like Ronaldo, that's really important. So
yeah,
I just don't think that he'd stay at United if he isn't on that tour. And for me, it's just that just 1 or 2 weeks is gonna tell us. I wouldn't read too much into it. Let's just see what happens.
I mean, let's hope we can look back look back on this and say that he's still a United player, but if he stays at the club or whatever, he will. He's just he's not going to be at the club any longer. I don't think. I think he'll be. I don't know. I think he'll be maybe a Bayern player next season, Rahul. I mean, we said it yesterday. He came out a few days ago saying that he's going to stay at the club for another year, and now look at it. What I mean? It's just things are changing. Things are getting really to the business end. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
if he goes, it kind of. I reckon it kind of. I don't know how to say this, but it kind of messes things up though at the top of the park.
Yeah.
But then Like I'm guessing Ten Hag wants to work on the defence midfield and then work on the attack in January or maybe near to the end of the summer. But by the looks of it, yeah, he's gonna have to go for a striker. But who does he go for? We could be getting rid of Martial. We don't have Cavani anymore. It's gonna be, and there's not that many good strikers out on the market anymore that would do the job for Manchester United,
Yeah,
which
I mean,
is a shame.
With Ronaldo, the disappointment I have with Ronaldo is that if he was going to leave United, I think if this was dealt with, beforehand, before the transfer window even opened, then at least we'd be sad, but we'd have a clearer picture of things, and we could refresh ourselves and look forward to the future. But now if he leaves, just mid transfer window, it creates a lot of problems for us as well. So that's one
Yeah,
thing I'm really disappointed with. If he was going to leave, I'd rather he done it sooner.
yeah, that's it. I mean, it'd be nice to just know if he's gonna stay or not, isn't it? Though, like I prefer him to come out and
Yeah,
say I'm gonna leave, then not turn up to training sessions. Like it is a bit selfish of
yeah,
them. It is like, I mean, we can't deny it. Like if it was like Lukaku, for example, or Pogba, we'd be sitting here saying he's selfish. So we're not listening. As much as I like Ronaldo, it is a bit selfish all the same, isn't it? That like he's dragging it along. Like it'd be nice to know. Like good news or bad news, it'd be nice to know. It's a bit selfish all the same, but you can't lie. But
yeah. I mean, if yeah, it is. I mean, I wouldn't say selfish, but I would say he's just disappointed. That's one thing. He's disappointed, and he's just he expected something else out of Manchester United, and
yeah,
for him, I think he's just in shock of what we had our worst season in Premier League history last season, and for him to be a part of that was probably very disappointing for him. But obviously, this isn't the way to deal with the situation. I think the way he dealt with the Juventus situation was not that great either. Um, but this is how it goes in the transfer market. At least if the intentions are clear from his end, then it gives the United fans a little bit of a relief. So we know whether he's staying or not. So, but if you leave us in the in the gray area, then it's always going to be always going to cause tension and stress to every United supporter.
that's it. Right, you hit the nail on the head there. You said it all, but again, as we said, I think we're all gonna say it'd be nice to know where the club lies with Ronaldo. You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah,
we all thought Ten Hag would have been the one that wanted to get rid of Ronaldo, but it's the other way around. Ronaldo wants to leave, and Ten Hag wants to keep him. I mean, we've seen it in the Ten Hag's first kind of press conference when he was forced when it's confirmed the new manager. Someone said, "What are you going to do with Ronaldo?" Or what will Ronaldo bring to your team? And he says, "Goals." That's all he said. He laughed and said, "Goals." He wants to keep Ronaldo, but I mean, who else is there out there, Dory, who'll just say, if fingers crossed it doesn't happen, but I reckon it's more than likely it will happen. What other strikers are out there that
well,
you look at and say,
there is Jonathan David. There is another striker from Napoli, I think, who is 23 years old. I can't recall his
Ozyman?
name at the moment. There's Jonathan
Ozyman?
David. No, it's not Osman. I think it's Skamaka. I'm not sure. Um, he's another option. But then it's all about Ten Hag's system. It's about the profile of the player. So the profile of the player has to match with what Ten Hag wants in his system. So again, if Ronaldo does leave, I don't even expect United to sign a backup striker. I think Ten Hag would probably have to um, you know make make do with what he has right now. He probably get a winger in Anthony or Nabry or someone like that. But if Ronaldo leaves, signing another striker is going to be difficult. But it's not out of our it's not out of a possibility. It's always going to be a chance that we are going to do it. But it's always difficult when you have to change your plans mid transfer.
Yeah. That's it. We might have to stick with Martial for another season, right? Hill? You might have to
Yeah, I
stick
mean,
with him or
I'd rather stick with Marshall up front than Rashford or anyone else, to be
yeah.
honest.
The thing is about Rashford. Rashford's more of a winger. I mean, there was times where I think it was Ralph Rangnick tried to do it himself. When of course Ronaldo was out injured or whatever, he tried to put Rashford as that striker. But I think he did it against Liverpool when the beat was 4-0 or whatever. I don't want to remind you about the score, but fortunately that was the score that you know he played Rashford striker and it just wasn't working.
Yeah,
He doesn't
I
got
mean,
the
Jose Mourinho himself, he was asked in an interview if Rashford could ever be a striker, and he himself, said that he could play off the left wing or the right wing, but he would never
yeah
fit into that strike position. And
yeah.
United fans, we aren't stupid, we know as well. So that's disappointing. People, talk about Bruno playing as a false nine. I just don't want that to happen.
No, no.
You'd lose everything that Bruno has to offer.
I feel like the
So I think
false nine is a bit defensive. I feel like the false nine is just very, very defensive. To be honest with you, I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't like it.
yeah. I mean,
Or
we
else
have to make
inverted
room.
winger.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
But I still hope
it's
at this point in time, I just still believe that Ronaldo is going to stay at United. But the more this story carries on, I'd have to lean towards him leaving the club.
I mean, I don't think it's a departure we take lightly, though. To be honest with you, I don't think it's
Yeah,
you're like, oh, he's gone. Fair enough. It's a departure that you kind of be thinking to yourself, well, that's
yeah,
great. You just wasted a year at the club and didn't wait until your contract expires. But yeah, I mean, speaking of pre-season, I'm not sure whether it's big news, but some people maybe would be interested in it. But Manchester United's pre-season fixture against Atletico Madrid and Oslo will now kick off at 12:45. I'm guessing that's British Standard Time, as opposed to the initially scheduled 1 o'clock. So I mean, there's only 15 minutes in the difference. I mean, oh, pre-season's not really big, but with Ten Hag Rahul in the at the helm, I'm guessing a lot of United fans will want to look at the pre-season games and see what it's all about.
yeah. Definitely. Preseason is the initial stage that tells you how the manager wants to play and what the kind of football you're going to expect to see in the main season. So it's important that we get most of our first team players basically to get into this preseason tour. Um, so that's why I'm disappointed if Ronaldo doesn't make it. But that's why Ten Hag was also basically pressurizing United to get the signings in, get De Jong in, get Martinez in, get everyone in before the preseason tour starts, so he can start to actually train, and start to actually do his work. Um, so I'm definitely excited to see what's going to happen there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the first pre-season game is next Tuesday. This day next week. So
Yeah,
the game will be kicked off and all now this time next week. Could be over, but I mean, the pre-season with Ollie last year, I didn't really watch it because it's Ten Hag at the helm. You might see
yeah,
Malacia, hopefully Christian Eriksen. It'll be an interesting to see. I mean, I don't take. So I'm not look at if you don't do well in pre-season, I'm not going to be like, oh, that's it. The club is round. It's pre-season. A few rusty legs in there. New manager who wants to see what it's all about. I can't see that happen. I can see Manchester United doing very well in the pre-season tour. But I mean, what does
yeah,
Oslo? What's it? Does Oslo? Um, where else are they going? Bangkok, I think it is. All that they're going literally everywhere. So yeah, I mean, I'll be looking forward to that game now next week, and hopefully things go well. And again, I reckon all Manchester United fans will watch it to see what it's all about. You won't be watching it to watch Man United play. You just watch it to see what Ten Hag can do at the club. That's basically what it'll be, and
yeah.
hopefully to see. I mean, I'm guessing now with the Malacia signing, we'll see him on the pre-season tour. So that's a good sign. Hopefully Christian Eriksen. Hopefully that's done tomorrow or maybe Thursday. Who knows? But I mean,
Mhm.
they're traveling to pre-season on Friday, so you know Thursday. If you do sign Ericsson on Thursday or whatever, I don't think he'll come pre-season. But you never know. But we have Malacia there, so he'll start training now very very lightly. But speaking of Ericsson, Rahul, contracts in there ready for Christian Eriksen to sign in Manchester United, waiting for medical, and then it'll be complete. It says Fabrizio Romano. So, I mean, do you reckon, Rahul, this deal could be maybe sooner than later? Maybe, I don't know, later on today or whatever?
Yeah, I mean this is a deal that could be announced at any time today,
Yeah.
tomorrow, but we definitely know that it'll be announced within the week before the tour starts. So it's not much of a concern. I think United fans stop pondering on the Ericsson deal and when it's going to be official. We all know it's the done deal. Let's just move on to the next transfers.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. I mean, it would have been nice to have De Jong there as well, Rahul, but
Yeah,
I don't think it's. I don't think that the De Jong deal will be finished quick, especially with this the deal going on for weeks, months, whatever. The longest
yeah,
deal that'll ever be made. But listen, I mean, the medical shouldn't be a problem, Rahul. I mean, we talked about yesterday. A lot of our fans that support the channel are kind of concerned about his fitness and all that is medical after what happened to him in the Euros. I mean, you said it yesterday. Uh, he wouldn't be playing football if his fitness or the medical was bad. And I mean, do you still
yeah.
stick with that?
Yeah, I mean, of course, football for start, but you wouldn't be playing in the Premier League. That's the last place you want to be if you have a bad
Yeah.
medical condition. Um, and so basically, I just that's just someone just speculating or throwing something out there, to create something that's just not even remotely close to the truth. I feel.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, he did well for Brentford though last season, of fairness.
Yeah.
So I know we joined them in January for like 6 months or whatever, but he
Yeah.
did well. I mean, I think without Ericsson, Brentford could have been relegated.
Yeah, Ericsson's the reason Brentford's up. He came in and kick-started everything. The players,
Yeah,
every player was playing around him. The squad was built around Ericsson. So that just tells you how important of a player he is.
I mean, you can also take corners and free kicks as well. So, I mean,
Yeah,
to be honest with you, I'd rather Ericsson take corners rather than Bruno or Luke Shaw, to be honest, or Tellez. I mean,
yeah,
we've seen it when Brentford played Manchester United coming at the end of the season when we beat them 3-0. Ericsson set pieces, corners, free kicks, whatever were very, very decent. There were ones that were kind of like, oh, that was a close one. So I mean,
yeah.
would you maybe look at Ericsson taking the free kicks and corners?
Yeah, definitely. When you have a specialist like that, you have to take full advantage of it. He has to be on every set piece. I wouldn't have Bruno, even challenging Ericsson. Basically, I think if Ericsson has a dry spell or a rough patch here and there, you could bring in someone else to do it. But I think Ericsson is just he's just too good. His technique is on point, and I think he is the guy who's going to deliver those good balls. And
Yeah, that's it, Rahul. That's it. And hopefully it's completed later on today or tomorrow. Just get the deal done and dusted. But here's another deal that could maybe happen. Could we get it done before pre-season? Who knows? But Manchester United have Manchester United appear uh, to have edged ahead of Arsenal in the race for Ajax defender Lissandro Martinez come from Chris Wheeler. So I mean, Rahul, could you reckon this could be another deal that could be done before pre-season? Or I mean, Ten Hag came out and said he wants this deal done as soon as possible if things go well. So I mean, do you reckon it could be a player that we could sign and bring on the tour with us? Or
yeah, I mean, definitely, because Ten Hag is a guy who is really meticulous. He needs every single detail to be in order, and for that to happen, he needs to have all his players ready. On the training field and in preseason. So for me, with this deal, you could expect it to happen before preseason. But if it doesn't happen, you could expect him joining, say, probably one or two matches in to the tour.
Yeah.
But it's a done deal, I think, and I don't think Arsenal is much of a challenge right now.
Yeah, I reckon Manchester United are kind of. I mean, with Ten Hag as well, I think that's the reason why uh, we kind of have that. Well, not that we have, but he could be joining us. So, I mean, it's a player you want, Rahul. I mean, I think me, you, and Ryan talked about it on Friday that we'd like him at the club.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, people take Pau Torres over Lisandro Martinez, but for me, in a rebuilding phase, I think it's important that Ten Hag gets the player that he prefers and he knows better, so that the transition is faster. Because we can't get someone like Pau Torres in, and then it's a risk if he doesn't understand the Ten Hag system. So with Lisandro
Mm.
Martinez, we already know that he's just recently played in the system, so he knows everything that there is to know about it. That's just a disappointment that Timber was the first choice and we couldn't get him. But then that's out of Manchester United's hands. I think that was more of a personal reason. So I wouldn't blame Manchester United on that. But Lisandro Martinez, as a second choice, it's definitely a good deal.
Yeah, definitely. And let's hope it's a deal that could be completed. I mean, we all thought he was 5'8", but he's around 5'9", 5'10", which ain't bad. So,
Yeah.
but we'll move on to this player, Rahul. It's the player that's given us all a headache, and it's a deal we just can't wait to be done. It'll be more relief than excitement, I think, when this deal is done. Hopefully sooner rather than later. It's this came from Chris Wheeler as well, but unfortunately there wasn't enough space for me to include it. But Frankie de Jong's moved to Old Trafford from Barcelona for an initial £56 million deal, potentially rising to £73 million. Pounds rest on the club agreeing on the structure of the bonus payments. But I mean, Rahul, put that back up
Yeah.
there. Sorry. Thoughts?
I mean, this is just, I guess it's speculation. But for me, it's just, I think it's one of those deals that um, it's because it's so complicated and because the parties aren't really mutually agreeing. De Jong is probably still in shock that he's been let go by Barcelona, and United are obviously trying to figure out the structure of the deal. But I think at the end of the day, this is a deal that's going to be done with, because Eric Ten Hag wouldn't have signed for Manchester United if he wasn't promised these players. And for me, De Jong in particular, because De Jong is for me the player that is going to start this revolution of Ten Hag. Ten Hag rates him so highly. He is a multitasker. He can play different roles, and for me, he is the future captain as well of Manchester United. And I hope that this deal is done and as soon as possible. For me, he is going to be a United player. I wouldn't have any doubts over that. But it's just the timing of the deal. It's important that we get the deal done as soon as possible so we can include him on the tour. That's the most important thing. Um, so, but I just hope it's done.
Yeah. Hopefully, right. Well, let's hope it's a deal that can be done. I just hope, as I said, sooner rather than later. But speaking of De Jong, let me just read this. Became out 1 hour ago. It's not thought an agreement will be reached in time for De Jong for takeoff on Friday, but he could join up later if a breakthrough occurs. The Porta claims that he is not for sale. We're taken with a pinch of salt by those familiar discussions, says Laurie Whitwell. Now, what would your thoughts be on that, Rahul?
I mean, again, it's another diplomatic statement. It's just another way of saying that we don't want to talk about it right now. That's just it. I think if he wasn't for sale, then Manchester United wouldn't have with him from the beginning. Because we're not that kind of a club. I think it's definitely there. The deal is done. It's there to be done. They're just working out whatever the structure of the deal, the add-ons, the sell-on clause, maybe it's all just going to be worked out. It takes time. I'm obviously frustrated as well, like many other United fans, that it hasn't happened yet. But this is a big player. It's not one of those average players that you would expect us to sign. It's like for me, it's like you could compare him to signing like a Lewandowski. Why would Lewandowski want to come and play for us when he's the best player in the world?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
De Jong, that there are parallels there, uh, but I think at the end of the day, it'll be done.
yeah. That's it, right? Well, let's hope, as I said, it's a deal that'll be done quick. But yeah, I mean, you said it yesterday as well, because I think I said, but Laporta's not going to sit there and say, "Oh, he's joining United." So I
Yeah,
suppose he's just going to kind of you know push this on as far as he can until obviously it is broken out. But I mean, it's like Ronaldo, isn't it? Though, like we don't want to get rid
yeah,
of Ronaldo, but he's gonna leave soon. So
yeah,
it's
sure.
probably like that. Like we don't want to get rid of him, but he's leaving. Do you know what I mean? It's probably just
Yeah.
one of those like we love him at the club, but unfortunately he's leaving. So
Yeah.
another player who actually played alongside Cristiano Ronaldo goes by the name of Paulo Dybala. Is evaluating offers from English and Spanish clubs, and Manchester United could be an option should Cristiano Ronaldo leave, says the Marzio. Now, Rahul, would this be a player that you would like to replace Ronaldo if he does leave?
Not I don't think any player could replace Ronaldo. I think that's just it. That we can't replace Ronaldo. We just have to find the next best sort of option. But for me, Dybala, I mean, I'm sort of a 50-50 on a neutral ground over here because Dybala isn't a player. Ragnick himself has said that we need to be signing young and energetic. Players that are on their second or third contracts in their careers and not players who are on their fourth or fifth. And I think Dybala is one of those players like you could class as Ericsson, someone who's not going to stay, for a long time. And Dybala isn't even he isn't like a player that Ten Hag, you could sort of relate with Ten Hag. Maybe the playing styles, but there's not much of a comparison there. I hope that it doesn't come down to us signing Dybala. I hope we get an Anthony or even an Abdi instead. But he is a free agent. If the worst comes to worst, then I take him.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you said there's a player that no one can replace Ronaldo. I mean, he's such a good player, but it's a player that I don't think will ever sign though in Paulo Dybala. I don't think so. I mean, I can always see him going to like a Barcelona or someone like that. Um, for some weird reason, I always thought he was going to go to Arsenal, but he wants to go there. But I mean, his height as well is a bit of a concern as well. If he wants to be kind of that centre forward as well. I mean, we all
Yeah,
know in the Premier League now we have a lot of tall strikers like Harry Kane, Nunez, Haaland. Werner wouldn't be tall, but he reasonable height for a striker. Uh, Liverpool have Nunez, as I said. So it's just like it's in this kind of stage of football, you have to have a tall striker. You can't have like a 5'8" striker or 5'10". You have to be 6 foot the most.
yeah,
And I don't think anyone would agree with me on that. That you'd have to have a striker that's more than 5'10". I mean, it's what you need, especially with other teams starting to strengthen. You can't see a like Dybala, a 5'10" player go up against a 6'2", Van Dijk or whatever. Look where you just know who's going to win the battle. It'll be like, I don't know, a tiger trying to fight a rat. You just know who's going to win, and it's not going to be the rat. So it's going to be one of those as well. But I mean, if we get him, we get him. But I can't see that they'll happen. And to be honest with you, Rahul, and I'd say you'd agree with me on that one as well.
yeah. I mean, with Dybala, there's so many factors that go against it. First of all, the profile of the player. He is one of those short-selling players. He isn't one of those underrated, unknown players that you'd want in a rebuilding side. And apart from that, his injury record speaks for itself. We can't have that kind of a risk at United. We need players who are injury-free. And apart from that, just his attitude. I'm not sure about his attitude, but would he be able to cope up with the Premier League first of all, and would he be able to cope up with actually being humble and being, and leading a squad. I just don't think he fits that profile. There's too many risks attached to it. People say that just because he's a free agent, we should go and get him. I think that's not the case. We can't just be signing every free agent out there. We can keep
Yeah,
it as a possibility. As a possibility. If things go bad, then Dybala could come in. But for me, you always have to look at signing your first priorities. That is Anthony, or maybe even an Abri. I don't know.
yeah, that's it. We kind of have to. Again, I was never really a big fan of Ballad though, as well. To be honest with you, so it's not like he's good, but he's not the best. Like he would get Manchester United winning trophies or back to the best. Maybe you could have him as a backup, but it's not quite a backup as well. To be honest with you, especially in the Premier League, you get away with like the player he is, you get away with that in like the Italian league, the Dutch league, or the German league, but you wouldn't get away with that in the Premier
Yeah,
League as well. You just wouldn't get away with that at a certain
yeah,
level of football as well. But I mean, I suppose the big highlight of today will be that Tyrone Malacia is officially a Manchester United player. So that's one sign in the bag. Let's hope it's the first of many. Fingers crossed, Rahul. That's all we can hope for.
yeah.
But I mean, that's been the 2 o'clock show. It's been a good one. A lot of people seem to be happy about Malacia. But I mean, Rahul live again tonight, 8, or do you reckon we'll leave it and come back at 2 o'clock tomorrow?
I'd be down to come by at 8. It's up to you.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Hopefully, there's updates by then. But if more
Yeah,
big news comes out, we will have at 8 o'clock. So, I mean, Rahul, thanks for joining me. Everyone who's watching the video, like, comment, hit that subscribe button. Only 2 away from 400 subscribers. And we'll see you all on the next one.